Welcome to First Date, a panel talk show on the Reader Seeks Romance channel that celebrates debut romance authors with recent and upcoming releases. I am your matchmaking host, Liz Donatelli. It is a thrill for me to introduce 4 new romance authors who will set your hearts aflutter with their 2024 debut romances. Emma R. Alban is the author of Don't Want You Like a Best Friend, Book 1 in the Mischief and Matchmaking series. Pub date, January 9th. Lindsay Hameroff is the author of Till There Was You. Pub date, February 20th. Laura Piper Lee is the author of Hannah Tate, Beyond Repair. Pub date, February 13th. Lindsay Lovise is the author of Never Blow a Kiss, Book 1 in the Secret Society of Governess Spies series. Pub date, January 23rd. Welcome, authors, and congratulations on your debut romance releases.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's begin, as all first dates do, with an icebreaker. Tell me something about yourself that others would be surprised to learn. So, Laura, enlighten us.
So I've been in a series of bands. I played in bands in college and after. Nothing super serious, but probably my most successful venture was like an all-girl punk band called the Throbbing Clits.
Oh, yeah.
We used to play, our brother band was called Girth.
Emma, what's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
I actually was a classical percussionist. I went to college for percussion performance and music education before windingly finding my way over to writing. So band kids for life.
Oh, wow. Oh, exciting. Well, who wants to go next? Down to the Lindsays. Lindsay Lovise.
When I was in high school, I took karate and jujitsu, and I made it up to being a brown belt. Very exciting. Yeah, I think like a small child could take me down nowadays, but back then.
Nice. And brown is pretty high up, right? Yeah.
Yeah, after that is black.
Right. That's why. Okay. Very cool. Wow. Lindsay Hameroff, do you play an instrument or martial arts? No,
I'm a band wife. My husband played in the marching band. I'm familiar with tuba punch. I have not personally consumed it.
Wait, did you say tuba punch? What was that?
Yeah, he's still like in the marching band parties. This is not my story. This is his story. But like, I guess they would make like jungle juice or whatever and drink it from the instruments. It sounds gross. I don't know. Maybe Evan knows. I don't know.
There's so much spit in a tuba. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's, I don't know, is it like nerdy sexy or just disgusting to be like drinking? Okay.
Take your pick.
Okay. But now, so that is your thing, is that you said a band wife? Is that like a term?
I haven't played since middle school, when they made us choose between art and band. I picked art.
Okay. So now are you going to go with that as the thing that people would be surprised to know about you, or do you have something else?
I can say that I was going to be an artist, but that didn't work out. Or I can say that, what was my other one I was going to say? I wasn't really a romance reader. I was really like a horror reader.
Yes. You know, I actually love horror. I love watching horror movies, and I've met other romance authors who do really, really love horror. And I'm wondering if I feel like there's something there to those two extremes of love and safety and just completely horrifying and, unstable. So I think there might be something there. Maybe you should get into some horror writing, horror romance. Think about it, Lindsay. Think about it. It all started here. Let me set the stage. You have just scored a meeting with book club tastemakers, Oprah, Jenna Bush Hager, and Reese Witherspoon. They are giving you 2 minutes to pitch your debut romance to them. Go. So, Lindsay L., Oprah, Jenna, and Reese are ready to hear your pitch of Never Blow a Kiss.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Lovise, and my book is Never Blow a Kiss. It's a historical romance set in 1838, which is the very beginning of Queen Victoria's reign. So it's, I guess, technically a Victorian romance. And it is about a woman named Emily, and she is actually a thief. She's grown up in poverty, and she wants a better life for herself. So she starts impersonating being a governess. And that is when she is found by someone known only as the Dove. The Dove, we don't know who she is throughout the book, but she has started collecting governesses across the ton, and she is creating a spy network because the way she sees it, only the poor are held accountable to the law, whereas the ton gets away with murder, literally sometimes.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. So she uses her spies to feed her information, which she then feeds to the police, which had just started, the Metropolitan Police. And when Emily is in her placement in London, she meets a man named Zachariah Denholm, who is a detective constable tasked with finding the identity of a serial killer who is targeting sex workers. And, they keep meeting with each other. But what he doesn't know is that Emily has a deep, dark secret that ends up colliding with his investigation.
Next.
Hi, I'm Emma R. Alban, and this is my debut novel, Don't Want You Like a Best Friend. It came out last Tuesday, January 9th, and last Thursday as More Than a Best Friend in the UK. And it is about two debutantes who team up in 1857 to get their widowed parents together instead of finding husbands themselves, and end up inevitably falling in love with each other in the process. Gwen is on her 4th season and counting. She's the daughter of a wealthy earl and has no need to find a husband. So when she meets the charming Beth, who is on her 1st season and has to get married, or she and her mother will be kicked out of their home by her cousin who's about to inherit, Gwen and Beth instantly become friends. And Gwen notices very quickly that their parents seem to have vibes. Clearly something went wrong between them 20 years ago before they married other people. And Beth and Gwen try to suss it out and finally discover they were in love and something went totally wrong. And because they don't want to find husbands and they'd like to spend a lot more time together, they obviously decide to parent trap their parents and then fall in love with each other in the process, and chaos and mischief and hijinks ensue.
Next.
Hello, I am Laura Piper Lee. I wrote Hannah Tate Beyond Repair. It's my debut adult romantic comedy. Hannah Tate is your messy millennial new mom. She's trying her hardest to live the life she thinks she should, but she's failing miserably at it. When she loses her awful job and she gets stumped by her baby daddy, all in one terrible week, she's forced to move in with her loving but extremely irresponsible parents in their latest rash decision, which is this dilapidated fixer-upper cabin they bought in the mountains of Blue Ridge, Georgia. This horrible, dilapidated old cabin, it looks like the set of, a horror movie like Saw or something. But they're determined to rent it out as an Airbnb. And Hannah has no job, nothing going on. She decides to help them renovate it. And she happens to hire the hot hippie carpenter who lives in the treehouse next door. I think of him as like a hot hippie Ron Swanson, if you're familiar with Parks and Recreation. He is a golden retriever boyfriend, full stop. So he's a sweet dude. And so with the help of this hot carpenter, you can see where this is going. Hannah renovates her cabin, her life, and most importantly, her perception of her own self-worth in the whole process.
Next.
Hi, Oprah, Jenna, and Reese. I'm Lindsay Hameroff, and this is my debut novel, Till There Was You. It's a rom-com set in New York City, and it is about a young chef named Lexi, who is a culinary student. Her dream is to become a head chef at a Michelin star restaurant. It was kind of like her shared dream with her mom, who passed away. So she really wants to kind of like fulfill her mom's expectation of her. And she's going through culinary school. She's trying to stay on track. She's trying not to get distracted. For her, that of course means no dating. But one night she's had a particularly bad week at school. She's at happy hour with her friends, just blowing off some steam. And she starts talking to a cute guy at the bar who turns out to be the dive bar musician, who then goes on to charm her with show tunes, as one does in a bar, plays her Till There Was You on his guitar. They end up having like a weekend fling, and she's sort of optimistic about it, but then he goes off to LA to record his demo album, sort of ends up ghosting her, and she's like, okay, that was a blip, that was nothing. But then he turns out to be a big distraction because he ends up becoming like an overnight sensation with this one-hit wonder song that's about her and the pancakes that she made him after their weekend fling together. She made him these blueberry pancakes, which are her specialty, and he came out with a song called Blueberry, which everyone thinks is the sexy song, and she's like, oh my God, this is about my pancakes, and nobody knows it. So she's trying to ignore it, move on with her life, but then of course, as love interests do, he like shows up one night on her doorstep and was like, I made a mistake, I'm really sorry, you know, I want to get to know you. And then she sort of has to decide if she wants to pursue a relationship with him, especially since she's trying to get her career off the ground, and dating a celebrity is of course no easy thing, comes with a lot of other distractions and public scrutiny, and they sort of have to have a give and take of, you know, what they're going to compromise in order to be together and to decide if it's going to be a recipe for love. I've been told that it's very cinematic and would be a great movie, so please.
Well done, everyone. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, well, now that you've shared what your novels are about, I would love for each of you to read the first line. Lindsay Hameroff, why don't you read the first line of Till There Was You?
Okay, so the first line is, Mise en place, a place for everything and everything in its place.
That's another language, right? I know
it's French, and I had to write a transliteration because I mispronounce it every single time.
Oh.
I want to say mise en place, but that's not how it's pronounced.
And what does that mean?
It means like getting everything ready to cook, like you're getting everything set up at your station.
Oh, okay. So you enter right into the culinary aspect of the story. Okay, I like that. So you begin in the kitchen with Laura Piper Lee.
There's something about new motherhood that makes everything so desperate.
Go ahead, Emma. Sell it, Emma. Sell it.
Beth wishes mother could just leave well enough alone.
I felt it. I felt it, Emma.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I dig it. Lindsay Lovise, first line, please.
Emily Leverton was a hopeless governess.
Interesting. All of you really hit it out of the park with intriguing first lines. Like each one is like, I want to know more. Now is the time where we discuss tropes. What tropes do you use to tell the love story between your main characters? And please share if there are any tropes that you might have created in writing your debut romances. Claim it now, and forever it will be that you own that trope, or that you at least created it. Now, I'm going to start with Lindsay because I feel as if there's got to be some kind of blueberry pancake trope, right? That you've written something with pancakes that now can become a trope. I mean, is there like a pancake sex scene?
There is sadly no pancake sex scene.
Okay. I was thinking of just like breaking up pieces of thick pancake and throwing it at each other's naked bodies.
I feel like it's too late. It's like a post-sex scene, like almost like The Notebook. Like you've had sex and then it's pancake time.
Oh, so the pancakes are post-sex. They're post-sex pancakes. Now that, my friend, is a trope.
So we've invented post-sex pancakes as a trope.
That's right. If any other romance authors decide to use that trope, they are going to have to give you credit as well as me. But Lindsay, continue on. What tropes until There Was You?
There's still like the rock star normie romance trope. There's a second chance romance. What have we got? Celebrity normie. Foodie, it seems to be a trope that's emerging, I think.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have any more tropes other than that. We had a little bit of found family in there.
Got it. Okay. Now you mentioned something interesting. Now I enjoy celebrity romances, and whenever I've tried to explain the trope, I say, it's celebrity with, and I've always been like, oh, what's the opposite of a celebrity? And I was like, average person. So is that the official trope? Is that something that I've not caught on to, that it's celebrity normie? That's the opposite.
I heard normie is like the term.
Okay.
I've heard both celebrity romance and celebrity normie.
Got it. Okay. Emma, What are the tropes in Don't Want You Like a Best Friend?
It is a friends to lovers romance with a secondary, second chance enemies to lovers romance between the parents. It also has quite a lot of found family. And I don't think I can take credit for this, but I want to think that I am forwarding the cause of hoop skirts are hard when it comes to steamy times.
Interesting. So are you saying that you actually detailed the struggle, the real struggle they would have gone through, taking all that out instead of it just looking like she pulls a string and then it's like, oh, I'm all out there. And okay, good. So you really write the struggle.
It's double the hoop skirts. So
yeah,
they both have to be divested of all of this clothing.
Right.
And then if you're making out in hedgerows, it's just cumbersome. You really can't get under them. Like it's a whole thing.
So I'm seeing also double the hoop skirts.
I'll take that one. I'll take double the hoop skirts.
Double the hoop skirts. So now are the parents also having intimate times? Like how many people are having sex in this book? Because my imagination is running wild right now. And are there pancakes?
There is discussion of hot cakes, which would be similar, but not involved in any kind of post-coital situation. The parents are not having any on-page steamy times. It's just from Beth and Gwen's perspective.
Got it.
When that book is over, what happens may happen, but the parent trapping does not go well. So the parents are having a bit of a time.
Got it. And also you could take a parent trap trope, that type of, trying to get another couple to get your parents together or something. Okay, we got a lot. So far we've got so we've got hotcakes and pancakes, which basically pancake trope. This is what we're running with. Please tell me there's pancakes. Lindsay, Lovise, pancakes, were they around in the Victorian era? Because I don't think so.
I don't think so. I'm sorry. Mine sadly lack pancakes.
Lindsay.
I don't know, but I mean, Emma had hotcakes in the 1850s, right? So I'm not sure.
So Lindsay, Lovise, never blow a kiss. What are the tropes?
So there's he falls first.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call him he's a cinnamon roll, but like a dangerous cinnamon roll in the sense that he's really very sweet and caring to the people that he loves, but he also has a bit of he's not someone to be messed with or reckoned with.
Right. What's interesting is I hear what you're saying, and I think we need to create a specific trope for that. So a cinnamon roll with some kind of like a burnt cinnamon roll. I feel like they're right. Like what would you say? Like a cinnamon roll wrapped in what? A mystery.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Someone had called them, like there's golden retriever.
Yes.
Someone had mentioned that maybe he was like more of a German shepherd. So I don't know. He's a German shepherd cinnamon.
Okay. And you have a governess spy, so kind of like also a dangerous governess trope.
Yes. And a detective. He's a detective constable, and she is a thief. So there's that kind of dynamic too.
And I don't know if anyone I've heard of and read things like that. That was the dynamic, that it's like good guy, bad guy. Like one's on the side of the law, and the other one's a little shady. So I don't know what we would call that. Laura, what tropes are in Hannah Tate Beyond Repair?
Okay, I got a lot of them. So it's a single mom romance. Small town, happens in a small town. There's a hot carpenter. I feel like hot carpenters are just like a part of the business. And there's not only one bed, but they made the bed. They made the bed, and then there was only the one, and then the bed was used. They were stormed in. He is also what I consider a golden retriever boyfriend, to go on to the dog thing. I mean, they're just big, goofy sweethearts. They want to lick your face. It's a good thing.
Oh, like literally, is there face licking?
I mean, like emotionally, they want to lick your face, I'd say.
Wait, emotional face licking? Okay,
yeah,
now this.
Happy. We're so happy to see you. They just want to jump all over you.
My mind's going in so many different directions today.
Is that the Mr. Darcy like kissing all over your face kind of energy? Like at the very end of Pride and Prejudice, the Mrs. Darcy, Mrs. Darcy, Mrs. Darcy?
Yeah, but with more enthusiasm, I'd say. Like it's going to be a little messy. It's going to be fun.
I feel like your trope is like making your bed and banging in it.
Yes.
Good one, Lindsay.
Red and really lie in it. Yeah.
Yes, literally.
I love that.
There's some forced proximity because they have this project they're working on. There's also that HGTV era, if you're into home reno, and so there's all that home reno going on. And this is the one I'm going to claim for my own. There are no pancakes, there are no hot cakes, but there is provocative funnel cake eating. There's some sugar. There's sugar on the face. It does get licked off, so I didn't lie. There's some licking. Up there.
Oh, funnel cakes.
That's fine. Yeah, if you ever see any hot funnel cake action, you can be like, that was that Laura Piper Lee. She really went there first for us.
Yeah. The only thing is, now when you said about hot funnel cakes, now I'm concerned about it being very hot oil. So it's cooled down, right? Nobody has 3rd-degree burns or anything.
Right. There's just a dusting of sugar that somebody helpfully gets off, with their tongue. I
dig it. I like it. And you know what? I'm going to say funnel cake is in the pancake family.
Yeah, it's dough.
I have noodles. Noodles are the theme in mine. And that's kind of doughy.
Okay.
Right?
Are they homemade noodles?
Let's say they are. Yeah.
Well, I guess they'd have to be. Back then you didn't go to the store.
Right. Yeah. So definitely.
Okay. So it's dough. There's a noodle dough. So dough is the theme that binds all of you together.
We're carb-centric.
Yeah.
Yes, a carb-centric. Absolutely.
Carbs are sexy.
Carbs are
a trope.
sexy.
That's the carbs are sexy trope. We could do this for hours. I could just sit here and just rattle off tropes. Let's talk about heat levels. Where does your novel fit in my alliterative scale? Sweet, sexy, steamy, safe word. Safe word being some kind of BDSM, lots and lots of graphic sex. Sweet being closed door. Emma.
I would say it is somewhere between sexy and steamy, depending on your personal spice level. Because I've gotten a lot of reviews that have said it's close to closed door. I've gotten a lot of reviews that have said it's steamy, and now I don't know. But it is open door, but not particularly graphic. So between sexy and steamy.
Okay. When you were writing, don't want you like a best friend. Were you thinking, oh, wow, this is a really steamy story? Like, what was your take on it as you were writing it?
I'd say I thought it was mid-level, 2.5 peppers, exactly in that middle. So I think that's why it's polarizing, apparently.
Okay, Lindsay Lovise, Never Blow a Kiss. What's the spice level?
I would say sexy bordering on steamy, like in the middle too, maybe more towards steamy. Because kind of like Emma said, it really depends on your own, what you consider to be pepper worthy, really. So I've also gotten reviews that are like, oh, this is pretty steamy, and other ones that are like 2 peppers. So I also don't know either. I would go with steamy probably.
Lindsay Hameroff. Till There Was You. Where does it fit in the spice meter?
I think it's sexy. I think like everyone else, I thought when I was writing it, like I'm gonna have to redact this entire thing before I give it to my family, and then the internet's like, it's a 1. It's open door. There's sex on the page, but it's not really like graphically described.
Okay.
It's probably a sexy.
Okay.
It's a 1.5.
Okay. I feel like if the pancakes were played up in a different way, it could have been in the mid-level. Pancakes. Okay. Laura, Hannah Tate Beyond Repair. Where does it end up on the spice meter?
There must be just something in the water with all the dough and carbs. Because I would also say that I thought it was steamy. I still think it's steamy, but I think from the internets, I have heard that it's like 2.5 chili pepper range. So like I'd say like some people think it's just sexy and or like that right in that middle zone. I think it's pretty hot though. I mean, but then I wrote it, so
I feel like that's a whole other discussion to have, is what everyone's perception of the heat levels, because obviously it depends on each person's reading experience. So I'm starting to wonder, like, how graphic is some of the stuff people are reading that you're writing things that you're like, oh, I think this is pretty hot. They're like, that's nothing. So interesting, very interesting all around. What is your romance writing superpower? Now that you have your debut romances under your belts, I figured that perhaps you would know, you start having an idea of what your strength is as a romance writer. Laura, what is your romance writing superpower?
I think I'm pretty good with the humor. Like my rom-com it's a rom-com, like there's a lot of comedy to it. So I feel like banter and funny situations and just making folks laugh, that's probably my superpower.
Okay. I could see that. Lindsay Hameroff, what is your romance writing superpower?
I should have gone first because that was my answer too. That comes easiest to me too. I started off as a humorist. So like the jokes and stuff come the easiest to me. Like the banter, the jokes, the funny dialogue comes much easier to me than like the feeling stuff. That's what I feel like I bring to the table.
Interesting. A humorist. So you've written humor essays. Did you write a column?
I used to write for I wrote like for McSweeney's, some of like those like humor websites mostly. And I edit a parenting humor website on Medium. I co-edit it. I don't even do that much these days for it, but.
Oh, really? Nice. Excellent. Lindsay Lovise, what is your romance writing superpower?
I think that mine would be trying to weave a mystery into everything that I write, I think. So this is definitely like a mystery. There's several threads of mystery going on in it. And, any book I've written since also has that kind of mystery in it as well.
Okay. So you would consider this then romance mystery?
My agent keeps saying a romistery, and I'm like, we should totally coin that. You know how there's like romantasy now? There should be romistery.
I am on board with that. Romistery. I'm going to hashtag it.
Yes, let's get it started.
Emma.
I'm also going to go with banter. That has always been my favorite thing. I love dialogue. I love conversation. I also quite like to write angsty pining. And I think I'm good at that. I hope so.
Angsty pining. Okay. Excellent. All wonderful answers. Who did you dedicate your debut romance novels to? And if you could please read the dedication. Lindsay Lovise, who did you dedicate Never Blow a Kiss to?
I dedicated it to my mom. And the dedication is to my mother, who always knew I would. And that's because I have been writing for many, many years. And she always never once did she lose faith that I was going to actually get published someday. So that was for her.
Beautiful. Laura Piper Lee, who did you dedicate Hannah Tate Beyond Repair to?
I dedicated it to my partner and my son, because this is a book about motherhood and in its true messiest form. And a lot of it came from my life. So I really felt like these are the guys that like got me into this mess. So this is their book too. So the dedication is to Mark for helping me build this beautiful life, and to Leo for making it so beautiful.
That's lovely. I'm excited about dedications. Emma, who did you dedicate Don't Want You Like a Best Friend to?
I dedicated it to my parents. For my parents, thank you for everything. Because it wouldn't exist without them. I wouldn't exist in any way without them. And they made me who I am.
Beautiful. I love it. Lindsay Hameroff, who did you dedicate Till There Was You to?
I dedicated it to my husband, the sousaphone player. And it says, for Avi, who made it all possible.
Oh, so sweet. I love dedications. Now it's time for the fun segment. This title needs a story. This title needs a story. And instead of me crafting titles for you to match up with a story, I have selected popular tagline and brand slogans of some restaurants and popular products. So I have 6 tagline / brand slogans. And you can just pick a number And that's the one you'll get. And you just tell me what that romance is about based on the title. Emma, being Don't Want You Like a Best Friend released on January 9th, you're the earliest of the pub dates, so you get to go first. What number would you like between 1 and 6?
I'll take number 3.
It's Finger Lickin' Good, which I believe is Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? I forgot to write down. Okay. So can you tell me about the romance that's titled It's Finger Lickin' Good?
All right, I'm going to go with it is a food truck romance about rival fried chicken food trucks who are competing in a Chicago competition of food trucks, and they both want to win. And so it's rivals to lovers, and eventually I think they will team up to create the best fried chicken of Chicago. And I want to say that it's a disaster bisexual romance because that feels very chaotic and fitting.
Okay, excellent. Lindsay Lovise, Never Blow a Kiss, pub date January 23rd. You get to pick next.
I would pick 2.
This is a very popular one, Just Do It, which is the Nike slogan. So just do it. Yeah, I mean, that could go in a lot of different directions.
Okay. So I have never written a sports romance, but this is going to be a sports romance about a female basketball coach.
Okay.
And she is just gonna do it despite all of the sexism in her workplace. And she's going to fall in love with I don't know, you can't fall in love with a player because I guess that's, against the rules, I'm sure. So let's go with another coach. Ooh, the rival team's coach. There we go.
There you go.
Literal rivals to lovers.
Excellent. Now, will there be pancakes in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think there should be.
Now we have our February releases. So we've got, so Laura Piper Lee, Hannah Tate Beyond Repair releases February 13th. So you're next. And the numbers that are available are 1, 4, 5, and 6.
I will go with number 4.
I remember this from my childhood. This was a commercial I heard a lot, and it is Calgon, Take Me Away. I don't know if anyone, I don't know. I'm 47. I'm a Gen Xer. So, okay. I used to actually stand in my bathroom doing Calgon commercials into the mirror. And Palmolive. I also was into Palmolive. What was that, Lindsay?
What is Calgon?
Calgon is a bubble bath, and it was the bubble bath. I could see who are a wee bit younger than I.
I know it.
Oh, you do, Laura. Okay.
Yeah, I know it. I remember it.
We know the Gen Xers in the group. So yes, it was a bubble bath. I mean, this was, Calgon. And it was the whole thing is Calgon, take me away, because it's so relaxing. And, it was usually like a busy mom or something. She's like, I just have to jump in a bubble bath and, forget my troubles. So Calgon, take me away as a romance. Laura.
All right, I got you. Okay. This is going to be a romantasy.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's going to be a romantasy.
Yeah.
Yep. Workplace romantasy. We got a real busy queen. She's real tired of her life. Things are really stressful in the kingdom. She's got a court wizard she's got a crush on. There's some boss dynamic there. His name is Calgon. And she is going to want him to take her away out of this world. So it's going to be a reverse portal fantasy where Calgon's going to take her away, maybe to like New York City for a nice little vacation or something. So that's where I'm going with it.
You know what? I feel with Calgon, that was a good choice. And now I feel like maybe you could write some kind of sci-fi rom-com short story novella, and you can thank me in the acknowledgments and dedicate it to me. Okay. So I'm not asking for much, Lauren. I'm not asking. Okay. So I believe this leaves Lindsay Hameroff. Lindsay, would you like 1, 5, or 6?
Let's go 1.
Okay. McDonald's, I'm loving it. So tell me about I was going to say the McDonald's romance. Now that could be
I know,
an
that's
interesting
right.
trope, right? At McDonald's, of course, you'd probably be sued unless you did some kind of partnership with them. But anyway, I'm loving it. What is that romance about, Lindsay?
Let's see. It's a enemies to lovers workplace romance. The boss calls both of the ad executives into a room. He asks them for their pitches. The boss decides to do a combination of both their pitches, tells them that he's loving it, the combination of the pitches. They have to work together, despite the fact that they hate each other. And then they come up with a, banger pitch, and then of course fall in love at the end of it. Where they get
Okay.
McDonald's. There's like some pancake batter throwing.
There's got to be pancake batter. I'm glad you mentioned that because you created the pancake trope. So everyone did fantastic. Now I've got 2 left. Would anyone like to either take a stab at one individually, or would you like to tackle one as a group? Or have you had enough of this title needs a story?
I think we should do it as a group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 2 left. 5 or 6?
I say 6. We finished strong.
It's Energizer. It keeps going and going and going. Yeah. Emma, I saw your face. You already went there.
I think they have to work in an adult store.
I was gonna say, I feel like vibrator was exactly where I'm at.
It has to play some role in the story.
Could it be a time loop romance in a vibrator store?
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Groundhog Day, keeps going and going, but it's also
Is it like a faulty, like they have one of those old viewing rooms that used to exist when that was a thing, and like the TV turns on and they go into the TV and it's a time loop?
Yeah, or like one of those like Nickelodeons where you put the coin in and it's like a peep show, but somehow it's a time loop. I don't know.
I like it.
That.
Yeah, do you know, of course, in going and going, I thought of like tantric sex is what came to my mind. Yeah. But then, of course, I thought the batteries, I thought vibrator. I did not think of time going on and on and on, which was an interesting take. Anything to add, Lindsay's? To the Lindsay's? Anything to add?
The Lindsay's are not
the Lindsay's
here.
You guys should come up with a love interest.
Yeah, I would say I feel like he owns the small sex shop. She wants to demolish it to build like some mall conglomerate.
Okay.
But in order for this deal to go through, they keep going on this time loop of the day that keeps existing in the sex shop.
Okay.
One of their best sellers is called the pancake.
Best-selling vibrator?
Yeah.
What does it do? It just smothers your nether regions? It's this big blob of a dough, a round disky thing that you just wipe on yourself. It's a vibrating pancake. You sit on a vibrating pancake.
Blueberry pancakes, I feel like we can roll with the blueberries, right? Like there's got to be like a couple little blueberries. Just
blueberries. Oh, you mean like little balls?
Benoit balls?
Yeah.
Like the pearls in a vibrator? Like
texture.
But that won't give you a yeast infection. It's important. They are synthetic.
Yes, that's right. And it could look like a pancake. First of all, we have now just created a sex toy that I think we should get someone to draw the designs, make it, and then we make lots of money.
And the lube that comes with it is maple syrup scented.
I was just gonna say that.
You see, look at how everyone the creativity just flowed. We were just like in sync. Yeah. Good. This moment, it'll never happen again. Never in our lives.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. Just remember that. Thank you, Emma, Laura, Lindsay Lovise, and Lindsay Hameroff for joining me here on First Date. I wish all of you continued success and happy writing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.